Now, a horrific case from Kerala, from rural Palakkad, has come to light of a tribal man and possibly a mentally challenged tribal man allegedly being roughed up and beaten by a local mob, allegedly for stealing. And there you can see people even taking selfies with that man, and later his body was found. Let's go across to Sneha to really get details of this terrible case. Sneha, what happened?
Gargi, so this person has been identified as a 27-year-old man. His name is Madhu. He is a tribal man. He was also mentally unstable. He would be living in the forest largely. Now, locals suspected, and there were cases which were registered against him for shoplifting. He would shoplift stuff from nearby shops and everything. Now, what happened was they figured out where he was staying. They went and ganged up against him. The pictures which are there clearly show that his hands were tied up. Videos are emerging where it shows that he was literally harassed. Things were taken out which belonged to him in his plastic and was distributed among people who were standing there. Police say that they also suspect that he was beaten up by the locals. Now, all of this happened yesterday around 12 o'clock in the morning, and after this, the police was called. And as the police was taking him to the police station, he started vomiting in the vehicle. So police took him to the hospital. And but by the time they reached the hospital, the man had collapsed, according to the police, and he was brought to the hospital dead. Now, this is coming as a shocking incident considering the manner in which he was tied up. Selfies were taken by people around him in that tied-up position. He was being harassed. Ironically, this is not just an isolated case. Of course, police right now has taken a case of unnatural death in this particular case, because they are saying that even though the other people have been identified, they can take only further action after the post-mortem report emerges and the reason behind the death is ascertained. However, this doesn't seem to be the only isolated case. In the last month itself, we have reported at least 3 instances of mob violence, of intolerance in Kerala, where a mentally unstable woman was beaten up terribly by locals in Kochi. We had another instance of how a transgender person was stripped by locals in Thiruvananthapuram. We had yet another incident of how a migrant worker was mobbed and ganged up against by locals who suspected that he was kidnapping children, and he was beaten up, but police had to let go of him and take action against locals because there was no criminal record for this particular migrant person. So there have been repeated instances of intolerance, of mob psyche in Kerala that we have reported in the last 1 month, starting from all these incidents are starting January 2018, which are literally shocking. And this incident that has happened in the tribal village of Palakkad, it is Attapadi, which is largely a tribal hamlet, and the fact that this has happened there and the way the photographs, the selfies were taken, with him clearly being seen tied up and the videos of harassment emerging, it's literally something which is completely shocking. Police saying that there will be further action which will be taken after the details of the post-mortem reports emerge.
Right, and so Sneha, just to understand, he was tied up and he was beaten on suspicion of having, committed a crime, of having stolen something, and it was later when the police was taking him away is when they realized something was wrong and then took him to the hospital where he died.
Yes, what we're being told was this entire incident of what happened with the locals and the selfies being taken, the man being tied up, and all of this happened around 12 in the afternoon yesterday. And it was hours after that the police was called in. Once the police reached there, they took the man into the vehicle and was being taken to the police station. And that's when this man started vomiting, and he literally collapsed in the vehicle. The man was rushed to the hospital by the police. But by the time the man was rushed to the hospital, he was declared brought dead. And that's what the police say, that they have to ascertain the cause. They suspect, and they locally are being told that the man was beaten up. But considering the background of how this man was living and everything also, they still need to wait for the post-mortem report to take further action against the accused in this particular case or to take the investigation further.